Welcome back, coders. I'm Allie, and I'm your host for Code Along with Black Girls Code. This is part 2 of our Code a Song project. We used TunePad to create this beat in our last episode. In this episode, we'll create something that sounds like this. Are you ready to finish your song? Let's jump in. Before we finish up our song, smash that like and subscribe button. Okay, let's get into it. First, we will make a bass cell. Click on Add Cell in the cell list to the right of the screen and select Bass. Scroll down your screen until you find your new bass cell. Well, looks like the cell is there, but hold up. Instead of buttons for our sounds, it looks like there's a bass instrument. In TunePad, the instrument sound panel changes depending on what instrument is selected. For basses and guitars, it shows the strings. For drum kits, it shows buttons. And for all other instruments, it shows piano keys. We'll get into why it shows piano keys for the others when we work on the melody. How do we know which sound we want to choose? If we mouse over the strings, it will show a number, a letter, and optionally, a pound sign. You can hear the sound by clicking on it. The number is our sound value, but what is the letter and the pound sign? In Western music, notes are represented by the letters A through G. Now that's only 7 values, and there are a whole lot more sounds than that. To handle notes higher or lower, they go up or down, what's called an octave, and it still uses those letters. They just repeat. It's hard to see what our notes look like on a bass unless you're familiar with the instrument. So let's look at the keyboard instead. In the instrument dropdown, select Keyboard and then Piano. The black and white buttons are called keys. The white keys represent the letters A through G, with A being the lower sound compared to G. The black keys represent what's called a sharp. Remember that pound sign we saw earlier? That's a sharp. That means the sound is between the notes, like how the black keys are between the white keys. When we say something is a sharp sound, we use the letter name followed by the pound sign. So, for example, A sharp. On the keyboard, that would be the black key to the right of the A key. How do we see which white key belongs to which lettered note? In TunePad, you can see the note letter at the bottom of the key. If you're not seeing it, click on the 3 dots above the keyboard and select Toggle Note Names. Now you should see every note. Hold on, there's numbers next to the letters. The numbers represent the octave number, so it could be A3, for example. There are 0 through 7 octaves, with 0 being the really low notes and 7 being the really high notes. The low octaves are to the left of the keyboard and the high octaves are to the right. You can see more of the keyboard by clicking on the left and right arrow keys next to your keyboard. That's a brief rundown of how to read notes. Let's go back to a bass instrument. Select the bass instrument that you like. I'm going to go with the 808 bass. For my bass sounds, I want them to complement the melody. So I'm going to create a simple repeating beat for 8 beats. And done. Let's take a listen. Ooh, the bass is a little too loud for my liking. When making music, the bass tends to be in the background, so I think I'm gonna lower the velocity of the sound. Let's try 25. I think that's too quiet. I think 50 might be better. However, I have to type in 50 for all of those 25s I just put. You know, to make it easier to adjust my velocity, I could use what's called a variable. A variable is like a box where you store information that you might need later. You can store numbers, words, and other types of data in these boxes. A variable has a name that usually describes what it is holding. I will create my variable to be called volume. To make it, I type the word volume followed by the equal sign. Whatever I put after the equal sign is what the variable will be assigned to. So I'm going to put 50. I'll put this code above all my play note calls so I can use this variable for those functions. To use the variable, we put it wherever it is supposed to represent the value. For all of the play note functions, we'll change velocity equals 25 to velocity equals volume. Let's try it out. Wow, that sounds so much better. What about 40? Now, all I have to change is that number 50 assigned volume instead of all of the other lines of code. You know, I think I liked 50 better, so I think I'll stick to that. You go ahead and set your velocity to whatever you'd like to, and feel free to use variables in the other instrument cells to make it easier to change values. I'm going to add a volume variable to my claps and shaker to do the exact same thing I did with my bass while you add some variables. I'm feeling pretty good about my bass, so we can finally tackle the melody. I will create a new key cell and call it melody. I'm setting my instrument to Party Synth in the Synth's lead category, but go ahead and choose what you like. You'll notice that the Synth category uses a keyboard for note selection. That's because under the hood, all instruments are actually using the keyboard numbering. It's easier to represent the synth with a keyboard than a guitar or a bass because it will reflect the range of sounds better. Time to become a star musician. I'm going to write up some beats for 2 measures to get it mixing well with the drums and bass we've got going so far. I'll use a for loop, which we learned last episode, as well as a new variable called beats. I can set the input beats to my variable called beats. You can use the same name as the input if you like. Okay, wow, I think it's actually starting to come together. Now, melodies and songs usually repeat things for about 2 to 4 measures before going to a new part of the song. I will change my for loop to repeat up to 4 times instead. To the next section of my music. I want a drastic difference from the initial start of the song, so I'm going to do a for loop of a bunch of quick sounds at 0.25 beats. To make it easier on myself, I can use that beats variable and just change it after the for loop to 0.25 and use its new value for any function calls after the change. Check it out on screen. Let's take a listen. That took a while to get to that part of the melody. How can I listen to it sooner without deleting my previous section of sounds? We can use what's called comments. Comments in programming are usually used to help developers organize their code, explain it to others, or make other notes. Anything that's a comment will not run. So a common practice with comments is to use it to make some code not run while we're testing. It's called commenting out code. To comment out one line of code, we use a pound sign at the beginning of the line. To comment big sections of code, like I'm about to do, you use 3 single quotes as the starting point and 3 single quotes as the end point. Anything between the starting 3 single quotes will be commented out. And check it out! I'm only listening to the second part of my melody now. If I want to put the other code back, I just delete the single quotes. With that, I'm all set to make my melody poppin'. But before I start, I want to let you know one more function available to you called rest. Rest is a musical term that represents no sound playing for an instrument. Just like notes, rest play for a certain number of beats. The rest function only takes in a beats number, like rest 2. I won't be using it for my song, but you might. Now I'm going to go ahead and write in all of my melody code, and you do the same. Feel free to pause the video until you're done writing your song. Don't forget that you can use comments just to help organize your code. Write a line starting with a £, and then after that, write a sentence or phrase to help explain the next part of your code. And I'm done. Here's all of my code. I'm ready to share this song with the world. Click on the blue Share button in the bottom right and select Sharing and Collaboration. In the pop-up, you can edit your project details like cover art, a description, and your sharing settings. It's currently set to private, but I want to share mine so people can listen. Click on View Only, and then a shareable link section will appear. That link allows others to see and listen to your project. I want to see your creations. Make sure to put them in the comments below. I can't wait to hear all the songs you made. But first, dance party to our creation? I hope you all had fun making music with code. I know I sure did. In this episode, we added bass and melody, explored music notation, variables, and melody structure. We used comments for organization and learned the REST function. There are a lot more functions and things you can do in TunePad, so be sure to check out the help button in the bottom left if you want to learn more. And that's a wrap. Thank you for joining me in making music with code. See you next time, coders.